Welcome to the Bravo Charlie Club podcast, making you 12 and a half minutes more awesome each week. He's Ben. I'm Richard. Let's go. Ben, how you doing this week?
Really well. How are you, mate?
Excellent, thanks. Excellent.
That's the way. Hey, new listener country call out. Italy's joined us. Ciao. They've certainly taken some time to get on board, but welcome to our Italian friends, and thanks for joining us.
Mm.
Hey, Fully Awake project this week. In a recent episode, we were talking about decluttering our mind. It was a James Clear quote. Maybe it's time to let go of some unhelpful thoughts or outdated actions too.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I've been thinking about this a lot.
Mm.
And I guess one of the items it refers to, in my mind, are regrets and moments that you'd like to have again. And I was just wondering, has this had the same impact on you? Have you been thinking about it in the same way, or is it just, me?
I have been thinking about it. I've probably been thinking about it from a bit of a different angle, though. I've been thinking about it in terms of change. And I saw a Uncle Sean podcast episode on YouTube not long ago, and great stuff. And he was talking about change and how if you want something, you've got to give up something, right? And I thought that was a really interesting definition of change. You sort of reach this kind of like balance or equilibrium with things that you're doing in your life, and then you want to do something different, and so you've kind of got to give up a behavior or an action or an activity or something to acquire that new the benefits from that new sort of practice. And I just thought it was a really, really interesting perspective on change. Give something up to get something. Like it's really.
Is that an extension of the, if you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, it's the definition of insanity?
Well, yeah, if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting, right? Sort of. Anyway, so sort of, kind of along that same line.
Both been thinking about it. Yeah.
How about you? What have you been thinking about? Terms of that?
Look, I did run down the regret or the moments I'd like to have back again. Trying to think, is there something that I should take out of my mind, or is there something I should just publicize and then I can start to to grow back professionally.
How do you define regret though? Like, how do you define what does regret mean to you?
Regret is, to me, if I had that moment again, I would definitely do something different.
Right. Like you got the same information and you kind of get to that point in time.
It's categoric. Like it still gives me chills when I think about it. That kind of. And there's, as I said, there's two that come to mind. One's professional, one's personal. Professionally, I let go a senior, well-respected employee in a business I was running, and I did it by phone. Now, he lived on the other side of the country, a 5-hour flight away. But with my time over, I would have just flown there to do it. So it's, I have to live with that. Lucky for me, he's a much better person than me, and we're still friends. So, very fortunate to be able to still have that relationship. But the circumstances were presented to me again. There's just no doubt about how I would handle it.
Yeah.
And personally, this is more of a fun one, but I turned down a chance to have lunch with Alan Border.
What?
Yes. So for listeners who are international listeners, Alan Border was the captain of the Australian cricket team. He was retired by now, but only a few years retired. And so it's the equivalent of someone, turning down lunch with David Beckham in the UK or Tom Brady in the US. That's the level we're talking.
Yep.
So here's what happened. I'd bid for it on eBay, and this was back in the days where you could have a reserve price. And so my bid didn't make the reserve, but it was the highest bid. And they actually contacted me and said, this lunch that you've bid on, you're the highest bidder. Would you still like to take it? And I turned it down. Like, it was, what was I thinking? It was just the dumbest. And do you know what the funny thing is? I still got one of his trading cards, and I carried it around in my wallet for like 15 years, hoping I would bump hoping I would bump into him. And then one day I did. I met him in a airport lounge, and I sat down next to him. And I said, "Hey, AB, do you mind if I share a chair with you?" He goes, "Yeah, go ahead." I said, "I got to tell you, I've carried around your trading card for 15 years, hoping to meet you so that you could sign it." He said, "Oh, okay. Have you got it?" And I was just like, "That was a while back, mate." he goes, "Well." And so yeah, 2 times I've let myself down.
There you go. Well, there's a lesson there, isn't there? Like perseverance, hanging on, never giving up.
Yeah. But there you go. As I said, professionally, that moment I'd love to have back, and personally, a fun one, but just what was I thinking moment, really. So there you go. Hey, travel tip of the week. We touched on password managers last week, and I wanted you're an IT nerd, so I want to dive into. That's fair. Tell me I'm wrong.
Fair. It's totally fair.
I just want to stay on this for a moment because do you know what juice jacking is? Have you heard the term?
I have no idea. It sounds like something that happens at the gym.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, it's not. The juice jacking I'm referring to is public USB ports being manipulated by criminals so that when you plug in to charge, they can suck the data out of your phone or your device. I just believe, and I'm probably ahead of my time, but I believe that's a huge risk for us that we need to be mindful of. So I won't, I won't use public chargers. Certainly by choice, I'll just charge off of my Mac, like we talked about last week. But there's a device called a data blocker. And basically what it is you put it into the device and then plug that into the public USB port, and they come in Type C, Type A. And the way a USB device works is it's got 4 pins, if you will. 2 are for transferring data and 2 are for transferring power. And a data blocker, if you were to open it up, you would see that the pins for the transferring data are gone. And all it can do is transfer power. So when you plug it into a public USB device, all it will do is extend power to your device. So
that's a great
I'll put a link in. Yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes for the one that I use. It's not an advertisement, but because if you Google data blocker, you'll find it and find the one that you need. But yeah, I might be ahead of my time. I just think they're like a $10 item. You should just have one if you're traveling a lot or finding yourself in those situations.
Yeah, or you could just use the ones in the Virgin Lounge that don't work. You plug it into one port, then the next port, then the next port. Try to find one that works.
Yeah, that sounds. That sounds like a. Well, again, if you use the PowerPoint, you don't need a data blocker, right?
Yeah, true.
Just to be clear, I'm talking specifically about public USB ports. If you just plug into a wall, it's just power. You got no problems. Hey, listener feedback this week. This is a good one. Listener BS wanted to know if he's the first of our listeners to tune in underwater while wearing a snorkel. And these snorkels just keep coming back.
The snorkel's back. Yep.
So here's the picture. This Bluetooth headphones, bone conducting our dulcet tones. He thinks. I think he's the first.
I think he is the first.
I'm certainly willing to give him credit.
Hey, how good are those headphones, by the way? Have you tried them? Have you tried the bone conducting headphones?
I thought I was onto something, and I actually bought some for my wife. She hates them. So
did you get the aftershocks? What sort?
I'd be guessing, but
because there's a big price spectrum there in that sort of tech. The aftershocks are at the top end, but the plastic or the rubber that they make it of that just sits in kind of like around your ear and sort of like over the back of the ear is just so comfortable. You can wear them for hours and hours on end and just forget that they're on there. They're so well made. I love them.
Yeah, okay.
Got a pair of aftershocks. They're awesome. Yep.
Sounds like a good ad. You're not wearing them right now, but
no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, we'll give him credit. He's the first, and I'm now open to admit it's a pretty good use of a snorkel too if he's listening to Bravo Charlie Club while swimming.
Indeed. It's a pass.
So, yeah. Okay. Why not leave a comment if you like? Send us a text. Join the Inner Sanctum if you dare. That's on WhatsApp. The links are in the show notes. We'd actually really love it if someone would work out how to leave a review or a star rating, because that'll pump up the tires and perhaps show other people where we are when they're Googling for their next podcast listen. Mate, the conundrum of the week: is it okay to park in front of someone else's house? And I don't mean just, if you come to a party and like if there's 50 people going, of course you're gonna have to park down the street. But I mean, if you live on a street and you just park in front of your neighbour's house, is that okay?
That's not okay.
It's not.
Not casually. No.
Yeah. Like, so talk me through it.
Like, that's your neighbour's spot. That's
it's weird, isn't it?
It depends. I think, if it's a super dense area, and then you're just trying to get a park. It's survival of the fittest out there, and if you get one close, you're lucky. But you have to be prepared to walk 50, 80, 100 meters or something, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it sort of reminds me of that Seinfeld episode, right, where he gets the park out the front of his house and then he won't remove the car.
Yes.
Because he's got the best park.
He's got the best spot.
I'm not driving anywhere,
Yeah. I'm not giving that up.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
It's
parking comes up a fair bit in Seinfeld, actually. But no, I'm talking about in the leafy neighbourhood suburb where there's, generally only a handful of
ample
cars.
Parking.
Yeah. It's just weird, isn't it?
Hard no.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the sort of like resolution? Like, do you put a note in there, or do you knock on the door? Or how does it?
That's tough, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know.
Just start parking in front of their house.
It's crazy, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, my solution is I'm going to put a parking meter in front of my house, and I'm sure that'll work.
You can probably get it on eBay, right, or AliExpress or something.
Yeah, absolutely. A coin-operated one, and then they'll knock on your door and say, "Have you got any coins?" Hey, that's it, Richard. Listeners have been BCC'd on our week. In next week's show, we're talking about a breakthrough in toaster technology. There you go. See you next week.
Love it.
Bravo, Charlie Club. Out.